Let's see here. We need to go back and we were having some fun to begin the 4 o'clock hour. We need to go back and finish out. Is there anything I missed, Porky, that we need to get to on the text line?
No, it's all back to the off-topic stuff. So to get us back, Richard, I don't know how many people you've talked to today, but I've gotten a couple messages myself. People that are mad. Oh, this was a failure. Signing day was a failure. That kind of stuff. I don't know what it's going to take for Ole Miss fans to adjust some Ole Miss fans. Some of them get it. To adjust their mindset. You can disagree with the strategy, but you shouldn't be surprised that they would have signed at most 15 guys. They missed on a few today. There's no denying that. They missed on a few. But intentionally, they were keeping the class small because they are, again, going to go after players in the transfer portal. And I had somebody say to me on Twitter, well, I thought, I'm quoting him, I thought we had $10 million. I thought today was supposed to be an all-time great class. Well, first of all, $10 million is a lot of money for Ole Miss. It is not a lot of money compared to Georgia or Miami, apparently, or Oregon or Texas A&M, despite Jimbo again ranting about tampering in NIL again today. A&M is spending out the you-know-what to get players. You don't have that much, so you have to approach it differently. You either have to hope beyond hope that you fill up a class.
$10 million's a lot for about 95% of the schools in the country.
It is. But when I've got people asking me, well, Alabama signs 25 guys. You're not Alabama. I mean, newsflash, breaking news, you are not Alabama. If you tried to do it the exact same way Alabama did, guess how it's probably going to go? How do you know that? Because you've got decades of sample size that tells you if you try to recruit the exact same way as Alabama, you're going to lose. And maybe portal building is not the best roster building. Maybe something else will work. But when you say, well, they do it, why can't we do it the way they do it? Because you're going to lose. What is more likely to hit? What you've done last season and the season before, getting guys like Chance Campbell and Mark Robinson and Jackson Dart and even guys like J.J. Pegues, or adding guys to your roster that you don't think can play at the SEC level. Ole Miss could have signed 25 guys today if they truly wanted to. They could have offered some kids that are, low-level 3 stars outside of Mobile or whatever and filled up a class today. They certainly could have done that. But in their minds, whether or not you agree or disagree with this, doesn't matter. In their minds, they think that is a waste of time and a waste of roster spots because most of those guys can't play in the SEC or won't become SEC players and in a year or two will transfer out anyway because they're not playing. So would you rather them go get low-level 3-star that they're not sure whether or not he can play in the SEC or go get the defensive back that has given you 3 years of tape playing college football? They've got to hit. They have got to hit these portal guys. It is vital. The class is small. They have got to hit. It is of utmost importance. But questioning the strategy because that's not how Alabama does it, I think is a little misguided. Because if you try to do it the way they're going to do it, you're not going to be able to do it as good as they're going to do it. So why not try something different? And it's kind of worked for you so far. What is it going to take for people to adjust their mindset and understand that at least they're trying something unconventional?
Yeah, so I'll pull one of your phrases and give you the 2 things can be true. Like, I agree with everything that you're saying. There's a mindset adjustment that's got to take place. This is what the Ole Miss staff believes. And let me give you an example. There is I'm going to try to not make it too obvious, player that I'm talking about. There is a player that was a good player in the state of Mississippi who was recruited by DJ Durkin when he was the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss and was probably going to come to Ole Miss and play for DJ Durkin on that side of the ball. When DJ Durkin left to go to Texas A&M and they had the transition, there was a few weeks of time period where this recruit didn't hear anything from Ole Miss. And so his coach reached out to Chris Partridge, and Partridge said, yeah, we've been on the road. We're trying to kind of get some things in place, trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do. Let me get back to the office, and I'll get back to you. And after that happened, he reached back out, and the coach that was involved, actually, he's like, look, Ole Miss did right by this kid because they were straight up with him. They said, we're not going to take a high school kid for that position. We're going to get one in the portal. Now, could DJ Durkin have pushed that through if he really wanted this kid? Yeah, he could have. But that was DJ Durkin's guy. That wasn't necessarily Chris Partridge's guy. And so when they met as a staff and they said, do we want to take this high school player who's not a starter when he steps on campus, but has a chance to develop into a really good SEC football player? Or do we want to get a guy who maybe has played in the MAC or somewhere else and has proved it on the field at the college level? They chose to go that route. That player was being recruited by multiple SEC schools and signed today with another SEC school. And it's a guy that you may look up in 3 years if he's playing really well and go, well, how did you let that one get away? And they made a strategic decision, right, wrong, or indifferent. There was rationale behind it. No, we would rather go get an older, more mature portal player than try to develop a high school kid into what he can be. We'll see how that strategy pays off in the long term. We're still relatively new into the whole how do you want to build your recruiting class. So my point, Borky, about you using the thing that multiple things can be true, yes, mind shift is necessary if you're following Ole Miss recruiting, because it's not going to look like everybody else does. Number two, this is the other part that's true, you got to sign more than 11 kids out of high school if you're going to build a roster. And I know you said, probably wanted to be 15. I don't know what the number is, but only signing 11 kids from the high school ranks, when you look around the SEC, and it's not just Alabama, to your point a second ago. Let's just go SEC. Alabama, 27 commitments. Georgia, 26. LSU, 25. Florida, 20. Tennessee, 25. Texas A&M, 18. Auburn, 19. South Carolina, 22. Arkansas, 20. Mississippi State, 24. Ole Miss, 11. Missouri, 19. Kentucky, 17. I mean, you look around the SEC, you look around at the neighborhood that you live in, and it's drastically different. So what does that mean? I mean, does that mean that Lane Kiffin is smarter than everybody else? That he just believes in a different process? I don't know.
It's a risk. It is absolutely a risk, but there's only two teams in the SEC that have won more games than them in the last 2 years.
I was about to say, if Ole Miss beats Texas Tech a week from today, they will have won 19 of their last 26 football games.
And that's 19 wins in the last 2 seasons. That has happened one other time since the 60s. So, when people say that you can't build rosters that way, maybe you can. Maybe you can. Yeah. But, again, if they beat Texas Tech, which is a game they're favored in, we'll see, they will have done something that has only happened one other time since the 1960s, in their program anyway. Only 2 teams in the SEC have won more games than them in the last 2 years. Apparently, they're on to